Right. Hello, my lovelies. Let's bring the music right up. I was mucking about with the sound balancing a little bit, and I think I might have messed it up. It's difficult to judge based off of the mixers, because generally I think it's like, oh, if the ambient sound is louder than me whispering, that seems counterproductive. So I was going to wait. Customize? Yes. Look at that. Someone mentioned this in the comments of the first series, and there's not a point in having restrictions to what you're able to make if you're in single player. But besides that, oh, well, I guess that's the seed if you want to play along. Pardon me. Right, that's going to be a lot of editing later. Right, reached the now. Oh, that doesn't do it on my end. Shush. Um, what was I saying? Does this actually affect it on? It does. Okay, now I actually have lost myself. We got the seed, we got this. I think we're 4-ish days. Someone's car alarm has gone off on side. Okay, let's see if we can get something started this time. We're 4 days in, I think, to me starting this save file. VCDBS, is that the file extension system? And yes, so today is the 20th, and there are some things I would like to. Well, let's first of all check that actually went through. It did not. Let's hit the apply button this time, and then check again. Yes, player spawn and death. All of that's normal. Days per month, true winters. We'll keep this off because I don't want to deal with it basically. Player health. All of this is normal. And this is because I'm, like, some things are expedited because of the nature of what this is. Because you don't want to watch me breaking blocks for half an hour, are you? Some folk might, but gotta keep variety in the place. I have a lovely little burning candle with lemon, bergamot, and rosemary. It's a very pleasant smell. I'm a big fan of rosemary. But when I relit it this morning, it sort of, the wick exploded and it's currently fraying to the sides. Little black crumbs everywhere. I think the next time I relight it, I might have to cut the top of it off so it burns properly. Supposedly, you're meant to burn it for so long before you turn it back off again, so to speak. Click return again, because someone was saying, one of my friends was saying that it burns a hole in the center, like it hollows out the wick and it makes it go weird. Something to that effect. Right. It's a bit cheeky of me, to be honest, doing this with the fact that I haven't actually finished editing the second session Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, we've got raw fish, cranberry. What will we do? We'll do what we usually do. We'll do that. Can I put this in? I cannot. Can I put it in on its own? What if I do it like that? So that's spelt. That's clay. I don't think we want that. We can make this, but I would rather make cranberries and, well, bacon essentially, right? Was I not supposed to have... I feel like I had a lot more firewood than this. Hello? No. Well, in any case. Get this started. And I'm going to put these away. These are going to come in handy for later. There is a mod, there's a butcher's mod that I'd like to uninstall, but we'll worry about that in another play session. This is a little bit of a shorter video today. This is actually... So if you see any changes here, you're going to see this before the second play session comes out. This is technically the third, but it's going to be a smaller one today. And that's because we have a very particular mission to be going on. Should I leave my food unattended? No, I shouldn't. I don't have a crock to put that in, I think. I'll find out in a second. There's it sitting. If I take this, because I already have a meal going. Oh, this has... There's a way that this is meant to happen. So you actually can't empty these. You have to take it out like that. But I suppose... What happens if I just put you in here? Oh, I can't. Could I interest you in being empty? Apparently not. I'll tell you what, well, this is fine. Oh, it's really not, apparently. Well, whatever. Okay, we've got that here. We've got some food here that's gonna take a minute to... How'd that happen? Not generally a fuel source, I think. Is that gonna... Well, however long it takes to rot will be half as much. But I really need to lock in now. Got our little brown stew there. I'll use it up before too long. Now, we have a multitude of places to go, potentially, for this. What I would like to do... I have a scalp. I do not have a scalp. Bear with me. I might edit this video a little bit shorter. Pot. Flax. Okay. That's the only way to make it? Right, we can't use fat. Tallow. It smells really bad. Hand of the Dead? The Living Dead? What? Fascinating. Vad är vi för? I need to make a scalp. Let's get. Okay, so we need this. Do we have enough? We do not. Which means on top of everything else, I'm going to have to harvest some cattails because there's just not enough of these nearby. I definitely don't need to be taking these with me for any particular reason. Or the clay. I kind of wish I could put these objects down somewhere. That I can eat, so I'll put that away there. And that. And this is basically useless, so there's no point in me keeping it. Come on. Unless I want to make a flower pot later. You see how easily the ADHD convinces you to keep things.
Check out my pants, mate. It's fucking busty as
So,
hell.
what perhaps the fuck is that supposed to be? This is my house. I don't remember inviting you. Oh, there he is. And he's got nothing on him. Must be because it's quite dark right in that spot. Burnt out torch, okay, whatever. That's the first time that's happened. I have 3 inventory spots. I should be raring to go. I see where they've come from now. Maybe they hopped up the ladder. There really is just nowhere to go here, huh? Is that traversable? Only if you're a snake. Oh. Oh god. Let's mark that on the map before we run away. Didn't I just run through that? Maybe it's like running through a closed line. The things hanging off of it, you tear the fabric. I was just having a very productive conversation with a friend of mine the other day about how to... I had a thought. You know what? It's best to leave it alone. Never mind. Wee bunny. Wee bunny. Dwarf bunny. Absolutely totty things. I was having an idea to do a bit of a makeover as well with the character. I'll do that later. There we are. There's Ronericks. I tell you, the hunger does run out fairly fast with you just sprinting, which does make sense. Random piece of heather. I am in the business of honey acquisition today, because we have a very special mission to embark on. I'll maybe save those. Handy for cooking. Especially if I can make some hearty porridge. That's eagle fern. Those have spores and don't produce flowers. The very interesting thing I was learning about plants when I was doing... I had it come upon me a fascination to do horticulture at college under the mistaken impression that I could use it as a basis for pursuing a more formal scientific education at university. This is a mistake. Colleges are trade schools in the UK. They are designed to get you into a line of work and not much beyond that. And I do remember distinctly the experience of asking a scientific question of one of my tutors, who was a bit of a jack of all trades, but also the closest thing that we had to a science teacher that was to teach us certain things about the science behind how plants grow and stuff, sporophytes versus gametes and all that sort of thing. And I asked him, I can't remember what the particular question was, but he gave me a smile I can only describe as if he just shat himself as I asked a question and spoke the words, "Oh, you don't need to worry about that just yet." And I feel like that's an extremely condescending thing to say to someone who is asking you something in the name of curiosity. It's perfectly fine to admit that you might not know the question off the top of your head, but it's immensely disrespectful to take that approach instead. It also came out that the guidance tutor was directly, what was it? What is the word? Slandering one of the students for having mental health issues, and then immediately escalated when she was called out, all the way up to the dean of the school. Growing flax. Yes. Is it? Oh, my goodness, there's so many of these happening at the same time. And by the same time, I mean all close together. Wild carrots and grains and all the rest of it. Again, beautiful. I don't need this just yet. Was there more of it growing here? Or was that it? I think it was it. Ostensibly, I am making my way over to... Let's not worry about harvesting all these at once. I'm trying to make my way to the forest. Cranberry. That could be useful later. In fact, I have cranberries in the inventory, so I will take these. These are separately timed. If you combine them, the freshness will go down. These are separated because they have a longer time lifespan than the others. But if I combine those, as I learned earlier, much earlier, they'll all rot at once because they share the same timer of the lowest one. What is this? Golden poppy. Right, here we go. Now, I am on a mission. I am not sure how to... I don't really care about this. I have it rot somewhere. I also forgot what I was saying earlier. Could you get out of my face, please? Ever since I started growing plants, well, a little bit before that though, this is a very old building and there's gnats that just sort of spawn in whenever the conditions are right, which happens to be year round at this point. One of my neighbors, I won't give any identifying details, but let's simply say that wait, you actually harvest amaranth? To what end? Oh! I had no idea. I've just been admiring the colour of these things. I'll start marking them on the map. I thought they were flowers. I mean, they're flowering, obviously, but you know, with the confusion of lupine. Is this even a pine forest? This is a temperate forest. Yeah, I'm approaching a jungle. You can see with the kapok leaves. It's really not the business that I need to be in. I won't worry about brewing just yet. I'll need to in a minute, though. Once the winter starts rolling in. Okay, so that's the jungle, and then right next to it is a pine forest. I wonder if Scotland looked like this 600 years ago. Or maybe a bit further back. Oh, hello. That'll come in handy for later. We're also getting into the darkness. Is that rising, or is that because I went behind a... I feel like that's where it rises, no? It's just because I've walked behind a mountain. Clouds. I thought that was a mountain. There is mountains over there, though. Maple log. Fabulous. We've got a bounty of reishi. Deer ear sounds fairly innocuous. Am I allowed to eat these? Click. Yes. And they're perishable for... they have a very long lifespan. So this is a very fertile tree. And in real life that would mean that it's about to fall over because it's been heavily parasitized on the inside. That's tool and cattails. There is a method to this madness. Okay, I have enough of these. So let's set about this business. And then we'll do this. Wait, no, that's wrong. One thing at a time. This I'm not going to need for a while. Or that. I probably won't need the mushrooms immediately. I'm definitely not going to need the hoe. I will keep my tools for the time being. And I don't really care about the thatch, but it's not going to leave me either. flax I'm going to keep running into. That's pretty much everything. If I find something rare, such as these, beautiful things. This will come in handy later. Oh, that's wrong. There. This is a nice area to come back to for... Is there any of these particular that I want? Tool. And then we'll put a blue marker on it. Wrong one. These are very pretty though. Quite like them. Especially the one that's flowering. There are... In fact, I like them so much, I'm going to steal them. Because I will be growing things and visiting the pond back home quite frequently. This is coming out of this block. Did I pick that? I did. I think it's getting darker. An indigo milk cap. These are safe. This I know. Or the Bible tells me so. It is getting darker. I have to head back soon. Yep, that's fine. Such a handy thing. To the inventory system. In a realistic way. You know, while the baskets are hanging off my arms. Like shopping carts, shopping bags. Let's try the Blue's Clues or the Door of the Explorer method. Can you see resin on the map? It's not resin, but it's bees. So, to that end, let's turn the music up a little bit. I'm operating under the assumption that the bees will be in this forest. Wasn't there somewhere I found actual bees? Lupine? I was very excited about those. Was it way back here perhaps? I feel as though I must have found bees, but it may have been in the streaming file. Definitely wasn't there. Cornflower. Irrevocably burning poison. I was very impressed with this. Okay, now I know there's lupine. So I'm going to put this on the map. It's either lupine or catmint in it. Since there's the red parts in it, I know it's not catmint. Don't worry about that in a second. Is this something? It could be. Oh, this is too dark to even see. And a very good way to get it soft locked. I suppose you could just paddy straw. Single piece. The sensible thing to do here. I'll keep it on the mat, but I think I'll just eat it. Well, the rain is pouring down and it's night time. Should we think about heading back, perhaps? That would be a sensible course of action. Not one that I'm known for. The game doesn't force you to sleep. But for the viewer benefit, I will do this. Okay. That's annoying. There was a trader that was selling beeswax. Daisy. Tell me your answer to. What if my baskets vibrated when I picked up the flowers? I'm getting turned around. This is open prairie. And we're not going to find bees that way, so I'm going to head back into the forest. There's not much over here either. I guess if I head over in this direction... Oh, I see a trader. Oh gosh, everything's here. Good to see even the meadows are good for something. Very good foraging. Cranberries. That's incorrect. I'll pick them on the way back. The problem... Let's call it. Do we want to pick this out? We'll mark it on the map, it's always useful. Who doesn't want glass? Well, no one wants splinters, right? Is there anything down here? Just hostility. Forze. Renard. See the brighter ones, it's always easier to see those. Is that what I'm looking at? Or is it further away? No, it's definitely... Oh, there it is. Okay, so this side leads to a plateau that I have no business traversing. I can just see the faint pinprick of light through that pass. Oh, yes, I meant to say at the beginning of this, we're 4 days in and I'm still getting killed by this cold. Long haul flights just aren't worth it. Lobster. That's the wrong button. We'll do a knife. And the knife will have it become stronger than I never thought possible. Let's not wander into the bush with a lit torch. That seems ill-advised. In practicality, it does nothing. But I like to play sensibly in this game. It just commandeers a certain level of respect for all the labour of love put into small things like the wind rustling sounds. How it really draws you in a way that few games do. Which is something to say despite everything being made out of, you know, square voxels. Being able to lend a sense of immersion to something like this is, I think, its own testament to a level of dedication. There's trees up there that I just have nothing to do with. Is this a thing? It certainly could be a thing. Let me know if you hear any bees. That's solid. Now this would be a perfect little alcove for bees, wouldn't it? Really? They look kind of sketchy. What? That's lobster, that's deer ear. These can go away because they're not going to be relevant anytime soon. Nor is the thatch. Please. My god. I think you need a metal pickaxe to even get half of that. Okay, so not a complete bust. I found a gear. Those like to just kind of spawn in areas sometimes. Anywhere where there's a lot of stone. If I'm coming up this way, and it's looking like this, there's a terminus to this path up the way. This is lobster here, this is fine. I can have the inventory space for this. Now, I can tell you just by looking at that, that is not something we have any business eating. Really? No damage? I'm going to mark it. It seems rare. And I'd like to find it again later. Okay, I found it. Since I'm running into these so often, I feel like it behooves me to make use of them in some way. Is that's almond mushroom? And let's get away from the screeching. You know, I do have a lot of ingredients here. Let's take a quick pit stop because we didn't sleep, remember? And it's just, it feels like a good thing to be doing.